Thank you very much.
Thank you very much indeed. I would like to start expressing my very great personal pleasure to be back with the old friends, as I said before. And I have to express my missing Mahbub or heart so much. I cannot forget his tremendous personal charm, attention to everybody individually. Even as he drew big ideas and big schemes, he always had time to acknowledge small contributions and pick them up, and it was a fantastic experience for all of us when we were younger. But here we are, the last round of the round table, given the privilege of choosing any topic I wanted to discuss. And that's a fantastic privilege. What I would like to do is to talk about a topic often covered as knowledge, in particular the politics of knowledge generation and application. And I was really quite pleased when Amartya Sen mentioned the issue of the unjust patent regime and its impact on HIV/AIDS, medicine, and so on access. That was very much what I'm talking about. I want to go beyond that debate. The problem is that I have only 5 minutes, which is quite a penalty for thinking broadly. But let me attempt to make a few observations on this issue. My concern is to try to focus the issue of knowledge, innovation, and development, the nexus, and to mention very briefly the problem which is posed by the politics of knowledge and generation. I have a long paper which I will not read. I'll simply pick up the points which I'd like to throw out for discussion. First is to observe what I think we all can accept, that when we talk about the knowledge society and globalization, we tend to often unconsciously focus on modern knowledge, which is Western, marginalizing other forms in the process. Secondly, we all know the globalization as a process works by selection and incorporation, but also exclusion. When you link that to knowledge, it means, in effect, that in the globalizing process, certain kinds of knowledge are privileged, what else are marginalized. It is that constant process which one should address. And this is because in privileging some kinds of knowledge, we privilege some kinds of interests which ride on that kind of knowledge, while we marginalize other kinds of knowledge and their interests are back them. This is a I think, very important point which one tends to take for granted, the discussion of knowledge, society, and so on. In the context of the global inequality picture, this becomes relevant in the sense that in the national sphere, it is the role of state and state policy to strike a balance between the competing interests around knowledge and use. The whole issue of patent law in the national level is exactly intended to promote innovation, reward enterprise, at the same time ensure that there is a balancing of interest by the benefits of innovation being spread widely. And the whole patent system is intended to do exactly that. It doesn't do it perfectly, but that's also. On the global state structure, which will do that kind of balancing. And therefore we have the global treaties and global attempts to do that. Now clearly, in that sphere, even more than national, the role of power becomes more significant, so that the structuring of the balance is affected much more at the global level than the national level. It means in effect that the multinational corporations which own most of the patents drive the process in their interest. In a situation there is no state structure to provide the balancing which will come to balance the gains of the patentees as against the users and consumers of knowledge. And that's a very important thing I would like to put on the table. Because if you map the difference between those gain from the modern knowledge system and those who don't gain, if you map that onto the globe, you get an exact tracking of the rich north and the poor south. So it's not simply a matter of epistemology or good intention. There are very practical effects of this biasing of the balancing. Let me give very quickly some specifics on this. Under the normal patent arrangement, because only certain kinds of knowledge can be patented, it means that kinds of knowledge not being patented don't get the protection of patent rights. So that a patentee keeps all the rent. That's the whole point of the patent. Even when the innovation which justifies the patent is based upon prior work, prior practice, prior customs. Interestingly, where the prior knowledge is also patented, then the original patentee shares in the benefits of further innovation. But where the prior knowledge is not patented, then the owners of that knowledge get none of the rent whatsoever. Indeed, have to pay to use the patent which is derived from the price. Now, this privileging of modern knowledge, I think, is the issue which I want to emphasize. It shows up very clearly in the TRIPS agreement, that is the trade-related Intellectual Property Rights Agreement, which are the attempt at the global level to strike that kind of balance. What is happening in practice, though, is that apart from the treaty provisions, powerful nations and their corporations operate outside the treaty to bend weaker countries into giving